Okay, so yeah, yesterday we sort of saw a data structure which yeah, we would like to use basically the binary heaps, right? Uh, yeah, so we saw how to sort of create a heap and how to insert into an heap, how to delete the minimum element from a heap, right? So and these things, right? So now from in today's class we will try to use it, right? We will try to use it and try to get an algorithm with a better running time. Okay, good. So uh, yeah, any questions with respect to what we did yesterday? I would say that it was not the most detailed exposition of the data structure, but still, you have seen what is necessary, and anything more, I think you guys should, anyway, that is part of the assignment, right? You should study carefully and with respect to other data structures also, right? Fibonacci heaps are better, you get better amortized analysis. Anyway, so let us continue this Dijkstra's algorithm, right? So yeah, what we were doing in Dijkstra's algorithm was, it is basically the same strategy as breadth first search, uh, but we were a bit careful in choosing the next element that we would be sort of setting the distance correctly, right? So the strategy was to pick the vertex with the least distance from the source, right? Which is not already sort of set, right? Which is there in the queue, and then you sort of you delete it, and basically, which means that the distance for it is already set correctly, right? That is what we proved. You delete it and you update the distance to its neighbors, right? So this was the algorithm. So is the board visible clearly? Is there any, do I need to close the, so is the board,
It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
so is there light from one side or something like that?
It's not glaring, sir, so it's fine.
It's not glaring. Okay, if it is better, okay, I will leave it at this. Otherwise, I will, So let me do it this way, this class, and then see if it is, okay. So, that was the strategy which we sort of came up with when we started with BFS and try to improve it, improve basically the running time, and make it work for graphs where the weights are, there are weights on edges and the weights are positive weights. Okay. So in that sense, this was the algorithm. So if you sort of, look back and try to see how the algorithm works. So it starts with the graph, and it starts, say, it has already, at any instance of an algorithm, there are some vertices here for whom the distance is already set correctly, right? And these are the vertices which will never again go into the queue, right? So for the distance for all this is already set and they are removed from the queue. Now there is the sort of, say rest of the graph is here, right? So in the rest of the graph, we will try to sort of select an element which has least distance from the source, right? Source is anyway definitely here, right? Which has least distance from the source, and pull it into this set for which the distance is already set correctly, right? So that vertex could be somewhere here, right? So say that vertex U, and we sort of saw in the proof as well as when we are coming up with the algorithm, it will be adjacent to one of these vertices, right? It will definitely be adjacent to one of these vertices, right? And then, if this is the least one, you pull it into the set. Say let us call this set as V is the set of vertices. Say let us say this set is S, right? S is the set of vertices for whom the distance is already set, right? We will pull it into S, and we will update right? Once you pull into S, so your set becomes like this. Now you need to update all the distance for all those vertices, right? Which is um, yeah, which are adjacent to it, and whose distance can be sort of improved, right? So you notice that you don't have to do anything for the vertices neighbors which are already there in S, right? Because the distance for them is already set correctly, right? So nothing much will change, right? So in that sense, yeah, basically you will be only updating those vertices which are not already there in S, which are there in V minus S. Okay. So this is what we, yeah, try to do. Okay. So this is the algorithm. Now, how do we sort of implement this using the, yeah, queues or the heaps we have studied? So, so is the algorithm clear? Any doubt with the algorithm?
So that S and U part, I didn't quite get it. If there's a shortest path from a vertex in S, which is via U, then we have to update that vertex in S, right?
Yeah, the thing is, so how did we define S? S was those set of vertices for whom the distance is already set correctly. Basically, ideally, these are vertices which we removed from the queue, right?
Yeah, but during the algorithm, if the graph is still not completely searched, then how do we know it's correctly set? Or am I missing something here?
So that is what we proved, right? When we pick the vertex with the least distance from the source, right? It will always be set correctly.
So level by level, it gets set correctly like that.
Not level by level. It is basically, in the sense, if you take the shortest distance tree, there you can call it level by level, but it is not level by level with respect to the BFS, right? So what did we do? We started from S, right? And we set, we picked the vertex which is at least distance. S is already set in the first iteration. In the next iteration, among all its neighbors, we pick which is closest to the source, and we will set this correctly. And we proved that there can't be any other path which has lesser distance than this, right? This is just
Yeah.
one vertex. This is just one vertex AU1. There can be a lot of other neighbors of S. For all of them, we don't set the distance as of now, right? I mean, we indeed set the distance, but we don't consider them these distances as final, right? They might still be improved, right? We don't know yet. So this is set correctly. Now both these vertices come into S. Okay. Now, among these things, now we will look at the next vertex, right, which is least distance from S, right? So when U1 comes into S, we would have sort of updated distances for all these neighbors, right? Neighbors of U1, right? Then what do we do? Among all these things, we will look at the shortest distance vertex from yes, from yes. That is important. It might be some say U1 here, or it can just be U2 also, right? So whatever, it can be anything among these vertices, right, which are basically adjacent to S and U, right? So among them, we will pick the thing which has at the which is closest to the source, and we will update. For example, without loss of generality, if this is the vertex, then we will update it and we will include it into S, right?
Yes, I
So
got it.
now, right now, notice that the distance for U would never get better, because if it needs to get better, it should come through any of these things, right? And the edges have strictly positive weight, it will definitely increase, right? Or it will contradict our assumption that this was the vertex from least distance from the source, right? So among all these things, it was the least distance from the source, right? Yeah. So that is the idea, right? So basically, this is in a way you can think of this as a greedy algorithm, right? So we are being greedy with respect to the closeness to the source, right? So Yeah, or in other words, even breadth first search is sort of a greedy algorithm, greediness with respect to, you will explore those vertices which are closer to the source. Here we are doing the same thing, exactly same thing, considering weights into the picture, right? That's all. Okay, so is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And also notice that the next vertex that is closest to the source will always be adjacent to this set S, right? So it can't be some vertex here which has some paths like this, right? So it can never be any of these, it can never be this vertex, right? If this will never be the closest, right? If that is the case, this can be become the closest, right? Because since all edge weights are positive, right? This would have, this would be closer to the source than any of these things, right? So in that sense, yeah. So the closest vertex to the source will always be in the neighborhood of S, right? If all the any of the vertex in S. So it's enough to look at just the neighborhood of S to look for the vertex that is closest to the source. Okay. So that is what we sort of did in the last class. I mean, that is how we, maybe whether, I don't know whether we stated this explicitly, but implicitly whatever we sort of, I think it was even done when we were doing proofs, this came up, right? It has to be in the neighborhood, right? So that is what we even saw, right? Good. So yeah, this is how the algorithm sort of moves forward. So yeah, any questions? Any more questions? Okay. Yeah, think about it. So you don't, it's not necessary that you will get the questions now itself, but whenever you get it, yeah, and whenever you're trying to understand it, if you get any questions, please write them down, and you can come and ask in the class, right? Then we can discuss over it. Okay. Okay, so how do we implement it? We will start with the queue, right? And yeah, you can say, yeah, Dijkstra's algorithm. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm not so great in pronunciation, but yeah, I think this is Dijkstra was a Dutch mathematician and computer scientist. I think J in most of Europe, J is sort of pronounced as Y, right? So yeah, that is yeah, we usually get it, right? So yeah, Dijkstra's, right? DIY, something like that, almost, right? Dijkstra's is yeah, so I think it is pronounced, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah. So how does this work? So you are given a graph, weighted graph, and also a source, right? Also a source, and from that we need to find shortest distance to every other vertex. So initially we do a set of initializations, right? We will sort of say set the distance of everything to say maybe infinity or something, right? So for each, say x belong to v of g, right? What all do we need to set? We need to basically set the distance. I don't know if we need to set anything else. Say distance of x is set to something like infinity, right? So basically distance to another, all those vertices is not found yet. Okay, maybe that's all is necessary, we will see. Now we know that we should start from the source. So for the source we will set the distance to be yeah, so distance of source to be equal to 0, right? Now what we do is basically we will sort of create this heap, right? You make this heap. You can sort of put all these vertices into the heap, and you can do it, right, initially, so that everything will be in the heap, and we only keep on removing or decrease the key whenever it is necessary, right? Or you can implement it another way also, but it doesn't matter. So Q is basically we will say make heap. Say with all the vertices, right? So you take all the vertices and you make the heap. Notice that the source will definitely be at the root because its distance is already set, right? So it is the least one, right? Its distance is already set and everything else is anyway infinity. Okay, now what we do is basically when so this is the heap which we have created. This is the queue. So we need to do this till the distance to all is set. So what we basically do is, so when once we are setting the final distance, we are removing it from the queue, right? It no longer remains in the queue. So we can once the queue becomes empty, it means that all the distance to all of them is set correctly. So we need to do sort of run this algorithm till that time, till queue is not empty, right? Now here what we do is basically we pick the vertex with the least distance from the source. Basically you are picking the root, deleting the root from it, right? So maybe say u is equal to say extract. You are extract minimum, right? Basically it is the root extract minimum from the queue, right? So you are extracting the minimum vertex. Now once you extract this, we know that the distance to this is anyway set correctly. Now we need to try to update the distance to other vertices, right? In the queue, right? So if you want to be too pedantic and too correct, you can only update to those vertices in the queue, right? Others you don't even have to care, right? So that is what yeah, we can do. If it is not already there in the sort of queue, it will not do anything, right? So what we do is yeah, you extract the minimum, and for each say uv belonging to the head set of G, right? So there are for each vertex which is in the neighborhood, right? So what you do is basically if it is better if d of v, right, is if it is greater than, right, d of u, right, plus the weight of the edge uv, right? So if this happens, basically here this is the condition, right? So we have found a if this is greater, right? If this is greater, which means that if you go from u and use this edge uv, you get a better distance, right? So the distance can be set better, right? Then you sort of set it. Then sort of dv is equal to du plus the weight of edge uv. Right? You set this, and yeah, you keep doing this, right? You go ahead and you do this, right? For every vertex, and this you do for every neighbor of u, and then you sort of once that is finished, you go back and you sort of do the next vertex, right?
So
So we don't
we
need to
we
push
need to
anything
we
in the
need to
queue.
push it in after we update, right?
Come
We-
again?
So we don't
Uh,
need to push it in the queue again.
Yeah, we are never putting u in the queue again. So everything is there in the queue, right? So this is something we need to do, right? How is this done? This is basically I will write
So
it.
how is everything in the queue? Like what how are we getting the distance? Like heap is sorted according to distance, but we don't know the distance yet, right?
Every distance is infinity, right? You can still put it in the heap,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter. They except for the root, everything else will be somewhere, right? So yeah, this is
So
basically
we need
this.
to push V back into the queue, right?
Yeah, we need to update this, right? We don't have to put it, we need to update the distance for this, right? This basically, this is what we do, right? This is not necessary. What we basically do is once this happens, we will decrease key, right? So you set this like this. So you decrease key for this vertex V, right? With this distance dV, right? So you will be basically decreasing it to dV, right? So this is the operation we will do, right? Notice that all the vertices are there in the heap initially itself. So we are now only decreasing the value of it. Okay. So we will do this decrease key operation, right? Basically, we will set the new distance, and we are done with that. Is that fine? Yeah. Does this work? I think that's enough, right? For every vertex, we are basically decreasing if it is already. Notice that this is important, right? You need to set it only if it is better, right? If you are getting a better path, right? Otherwise, you don't have to set it.
Sir, so complexity here will be n into m, right?
That we will try to see, right? So we don't now we will first need to see if this is correct. If we are exactly trying to do whatever we sort of proposed here, right? We propose here, we try what we proposed was pick the vertex with least distance from the source. That we are doing here, right? Then delete it. Yeah, when we are extracting it, we are deleting it from the queue and update the distance for its neighbors. Yeah, we are updating the distance for its neighbors if it is better, right? So we are doing exactly what we sort of thought of doing, right? This sort of yeah, so is a pseudo code for Dijkstra's algorithm, whatever we have written here. If this
So-
itself is correct or not, we don't. Yeah.
What are you doing in that in the fourth line? Q is assigned make heap of V.
Yeah, basically we are this is the heap. We are creating Q is the heap, right? You what are the, so when you are trying to make the heap, you need elements, right? The elements are the vertices, and it is ordered according to its value, right? So as of now, only the source has value 0, right? And everything else has value infinity. Okay.
Okay, so and after that in extract minimum we are just taking the root each time.
Exactly. If that is a minimum heap, right? If it, yeah, it has to be a minimum heap, right? So yeah, we are taking the root at each time and yeah, adjusting the heap accordingly.
Sir, can you explain again what does decrease key do?
Yeah. So yeah. So what happens? So for example, there is some. So initially the source will be here. It will be set to 0, right? So suppose something like this. There is a source here. There is some 4, 5. Right, these things will be updated, right? And they will when something is updated, suppose this is u2 was somewhere because since everything was set to infinity, say suppose u2 was here, right? So everything is infinity now, right, except for this which is 0. Now once we extracted the source, then we will update distances for all this. For u2 also it is updated. For u2 it is 4, right? What happens is now this bubbles up, right? So you sort of take this here and you bring down the vertex. You exchange these two things, right? Whatever this vertex is, I don't know what that vertex is, it will sort of go here, and here u2 will come and it will be set to 4, right? So this is what happens when you sort of decrease the key, right? And since s was sort of removed, something else was taking the place of s, which would again be infinity because everything is infinity at this point. Then you will sort of exchange this also. You would go here, right? This also will become something like infinity, and u2 would go here and it would be equal to 4. Okay. So basically this is decrease key. What we did here was, we here the weight was infinity, we set it to 4, right? Whatever is the way to reach it from the already known sort of vertices, right? So that is what we mean by decrease key, right? So basically, with respect to the vertices that are there in this heap, you are decreasing its value. It is sorted according to its value, right? So this, notice that these are, you should not think of these as sort of, yeah, just some elements. Yeah, you can also think of it as elements, but mainly they are vertices that are sitting here, right? They are vertices that are sitting here, and but they are ordered according to their distance values, d values. Okay, is that fine, Priya? Or
Yes, sir. Yeah.
okay, any doubt with respect to this?
So the edges in the heap has nothing to do with the edges in the graph, right?
No, it just that is correct, Shravani. So what you said, because the edges in the heap are basically the edges in the tree. The graph can have innumerable edges, right? So this is just an auxiliary graph which we are creating. Yeah. Any other question?
So in this, in the while condition, while we're writing while q is not empty, we are not removing anything, right?
We are removing, right? When we said extract minimum, we are removing this from the queue, right? We removed the root, right? Yeah.
Okay. I thought, okay, the vertices are still in the heap for some reason.
No, that is why, I mean, yeah, we could do it all the other way around also. You could insert everything, you could insert one by one when you are doing it here. I didn't want to sort of write too much, right? Simply I created a heap. I am just removing from the heap. The heap keeps on decreasing, right? Right from the start. Okay. So once it is empty, anyway, we are done, right? We have set distances for every vertex. Is that fine? Notice that I am not doing anything extra. I am exactly doing what we sort of wrote here, right? So it's just that I am, to do that, I am using a data structure which will help me to do this in a better manner. That's all. Okay. Is this fine? Any questions with respect to this? So are you guys convinced that this works? I mean, if you're not convinced, then there is no point.
With higher time complexity, yes, sir.
Yeah, forget about time complexity. We are not even bothered about it. Let us see about time complexity later. Okay. Does this work? The correctness is something that is important. There is no point in getting the best time complexity for an algorithm which works wrong. There are always such algorithms. There are always algorithms which are beautiful, elegant, simple, which are incorrect, right? We don't want those things, right? We want the correct algorithms, and once there is correctness, yeah, definitely we would like to make it efficient, probably elegant if possible, right? So, and things like that. So is this fine? Any questions? I mean, yeah, I don't want to rush through because this is important, because we will keep on using this sort of data structure and this sort of a code in other algorithms also later. Okay.
Sir, I didn't get the correctness, sir. I didn't understand the correctness of the algorithm. Like,
when we
Yeah,
choose
this
the
algorithm, is
minimum
it?
distance. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this, yeah, I think, yeah, Rajat sort of proved it last time, right? So it was his idea, right? Yeah, how do we sort of see the correctness? Let us go through it once again. So just for the sake that, yeah, it is done correctly, right? Now we will sort of, yeah, now we also have this sort of algorithm. Let us try to prove that this exactly gives the correct distance. Okay. Yeah, how do we do it? So how do we prove that the algorithm is correct? We can sort of prove it by, yeah, what is this? Induction on the number of vertices that are not there in the queue, that are removed from the queue, right? So maybe induction on, say, S, which is equal to V minus Q, right? So all those vertices which are not there in the queue, right? So these are the vertices we said that whose distances are already set, right? So we sort of do induction on this, right? So yeah, we know that it is true when S is equal to 1, right? So that is the basic step, right? When S is equal to 1, then yes, the set will be just the source, yes, right? Small s, right? And its distance is set correctly. D of S is anyway 0 and it is set correctly. Now assume it to be true for all vertices, all set S of size at most k, right? Now the extension step is basically, so S is of size k plus 1, right? You are in the sort of k plus 1 iteration in the algorithm, right? So in that, when that happens, so now we are sort of trying to extract the minimum vertex. Now, why is the distance to it set correctly, right? Now, let us look at what happens, right? So, we have assumed that it works fine till the kth step, which means that the distances to all the neighbors of any vertices in S till S became k, that is set correctly, right? Now, notice that suppose this is S, notice that the next shortest one, right, has to be a vertex which is adjacent to this S somewhere. And the distance to these things have been set correctly, right? So that is easy to see. If it is not adjacent to them, it will be somewhere here. So that way, and since all edge weights are positive, it would contradict the thing that it would contradict our assumption that this was the vertex. See, this vertex U was the vertex which was closest to the source. That would not be the one, this particular vertex V, which is the first one outside S along the path from S to U would be the first vertex which is closest to S. So which is sort of implies that the vertex that is closest to S will be adjacent to S, right? The set S. Is this
So
fine?
it need not be like adjacent to, I mean, on the path from U to, I mean, it can be on the different edges you are drawn. It can be through another path, right?
It can be through another path, but the thing is, if it is through another path, something like this, then what will be the weight of this? What will be the distance for this particular vertex? Say X.
Yeah, we have to
Will it
consider
be less
those
than
cases
U?
also while
No.
contradiction,
Will it be?
right?
No. Will it be less than U?
The
Distance to
no,
X from the
yeah,
source.
it
Because these edges are positive, right? It will have some epsilon, right? At least some epsilon here, right? So the distance to U would be at least distance to X plus epsilon, right?
yeah.
Right, which means that we should consider X rather than U, right?
Yeah.
So that, but we have assumed that U is the vertex with the least distance from the source, right? Which is a contradiction, right? We would have chosen X rather than U, right? If that was not the case. right? So basically, notice that, so if this is the source, right? Source is somewhere sitting here, and these are all the vertices for whom the distance is set correctly, right? By inductive hypothesis, the next vertex that is there, it will come in the neighborhood, right? This is the neighborhood of S. It has to be in the neighborhood of S, right? So another way of thinking about it is, yeah, you take all the neighborhoods, among them, order them, sort them according to their distances from S, right? Which is already calculated now, as of now, right? And you pick the sort of minimum one among them, right? And we sort of, we need to prove that the minimum one is always set correctly, right? So that is what we are going to do now, right? So we are going to sort of say that when you pick the minimum among this, distance will never be updated later, right? It can never have a shorter distance than this at a later point of time. Okay, so that again is anyway pretty simple, but that is what we are trying to do, right? So does everyone agree that the next vertex which we pick, which is closest to the source, it should come from the neighborhood of this S? Right. So if S and S are a bit confusing for you guys, so let me put as, what else do you want it as? Yes, Q, R, say R, right? So this is the set R, right? Where the source is also inside R, right? So does everyone sort of agree that the next vertex which is closest to the source is always in the neighborhood of R? R is a subset here, right? The neighborhood of R is basically all those vertices which are adjacent to one of the vertices in R. I think this sort of we might have seen in discrete math.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this you guys agree, right? So the proof is also not too difficult. If it's somewhere here, then it will be going through one of these vertices, which means that this is closer to this, right? Always, since all the, notice that throughout all these proofs, we are using the fact that the distances or the weights of the edges are strictly positive, right? Since it is positive, right? So there will be, even if there is just one edge, there will be some epsilon. So this will be epsilon lesser than this, right? So which is we should sort of, this would be the closest rather than this, right? So which sort of says that it should be in the neighborhood. So out of all those vertices in the neighborhood, we will pick the thing, we will pick that particular vertex which has the least value of distance from the source as of now, right? It may or may not be the final. We are picking that and we are saying that that is final, right? That is what we need to prove now. Okay. Okay. So that is what we are doing. We are picking the least vertex, right? So let the new vertex that is added here, right? So when R is equal to K plus 1, right? Let the new vertex be U, right? That is the one which we are extracting from the Q, right? Okay, now we need to sort of prove that the distance to U is sort of set correctly, right? Now notice that it is the closest vertex to the source, and the way we have set it, the way distance of U is set it, right? There is a path from source to U, right? Now what can we say about all the internal vertices in this path? Can you say anything about these internal vertices in the path? Where will they be?
They're all out of the heap.
Yeah, they are outside the heap, right? None of these vertices are there in the heap. They are in R, basically. All these vertices belong to R, right? They are in R. R is basically all those vertices which is outside the heap, V minus Q, right? So all these are outside R, right? When this particular vertex, so we know that says this particular vertex is X, right? We know that the distance to X is set correctly, right? That is by inductive hypothesis. So by inductive hypothesis, the distance to X is set correctly. Now when we had extracted x, right, we would have sort of removed, we would have set the distance to u as, say, distance to u will be set as distance to x plus weight of xu, right? It would be set this way, and this is the distance which we have set in the algorithm, right? So any shortest distance should have distance at most this, right? At most this value. We are not taking this as the shortest distance. This is basically the distance, right? Which it has been set by the algorithm, right? Now what this says is that the distance which we have set, d of u, that is set by the algorithm, right? It is definitely greater than or equal to, say, distance, say distance of u, right? Basically the distance of u is the shortest distance, right? Shortest distance from S to U, which is the property of the graph, not the algorithm, right? So any shortest distance should be less than or equal to anything we set in the algorithm. This sort of proves that d of u is greater than or equal to distance of u, because this is one path, right? Okay, now why is it at most this? Why is it at most the distance of u? How can we argue? I think we had argued in the last time when Rajat was proving it. How do we argue it? Just to sort of, yeah, remember those things. Or this is even by definition. By definition, this is anyway true, right? But we also know that, yeah, suppose there is some shortest path, right? Instead of taking like this, we can also take the, anyway, this, you guys know. Now you take any shortest path, right? Since we know the distance, right? So here I was picking the path which was sort of obtained by the algorithm. Now you pick the shortest path in the graph, right? U is here, S is here. Now you pick the shortest path in the graph. Okay. Now all paths are negative. Now can you say anything about the vertices, the internal vertices here? Can they be in? Can they be outside R? This is in the graph.
No, sir.
Yeah, why can't it be out? What if some vertex here, say xi, is outside R? If xi does not belong to R, then what happens?
Xi would be the shortest.
Exactly. Xi would be the shortest, right? If xi does not belong to R, then this would imply that xi is shortest to S, right? This contradicts our assumption that U was the shortest one, right? So which sort of implies that all these vertices, again, they should belong to R, right? They all should belong to R, right? So which sort of says that the distance to X is set correctly, right? Because X is already removed from the Q, the distance to X is set correctly. Notice that they both look the same. I am here, when I consider this path I considered the way it was obtained from the algorithm. Here I am sort of considering any shortest path. This direction is not even necessary actually. Even by definition, this is true. You could go ahead with this. Okay. Yeah. So the distance to X is set correctly by inductive hypothesis. Now, when X was set correctly, this edge would have been considered when it was when you sort of decreased the key, right? When you updated the distance, this edge would have been considered, and distance to U would definitely be set to d of x plus weight of xu, right? And when we are removing u from the q, right? Even when x was processed, we don't know when x was processed, but x is processed before k steps, right? Less than or equal to k steps. At some time when x could be some much lesser than k, right? So it would have been processed in that iteration. So in the later iterations, the distance to u, d of u, can only improve, right? So it would definitely be less than this. because it was set to x in this way. So d of u would only be less than or equal to d of x plus weight of xu, right? This is always true, right? Because in the later iterations, it might have decreased, right? We don't even know, right? Though it doesn't happen, right? So it might have only decreased, right? Because this is already set to d of u when x was processed. So there were so many other vertices which we processed, right? The only way the value of u would change is only if it decreases, right? So even if it has changed or not changed, it would either remain the same or it would decrease. With this says that d of u is at most less than or equal to d of x plus u, but this is nothing but d of x plus u, right? This is d of x is basically by our inductive hypothesis. This is equal to distance of x, right? Plus distance of u, but this is nothing but distance of u, right? Distance of u is basically distance to x plus the weight of xu, right? So d of u is less than distance of u, right? We have proved both directions, right? Which means that the distance to u is equal to whatever we get in the algorithm, right? So the whatever d of u we got in the algorithm is equal to the shortest, the weight of the shortest distance from s to u, right? Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, notice that we had done this before also. When Rajat came up with this idea, we had exactly proved this, but we had proved it in a different manner with different sort of whatever we had done previously. We were trying to go about it. This once we have this algorithm, it is yeah, a bit more concrete, right? We can use again the right induction here. So here we are inducting on the number of vertices that are not there in the heap, right? So that is something which we are doing, and we are able to get this. Is it okay? Any doubts with this? I mean, this is important, very important. We are going to do such proofs. This kind of proofs will become very common, especially in greedy algorithms. I mean, in fact, this is a greedy algorithm, right? So we are being greedy, right? We are simply blindly choosing some vertex which is closest to us and hoping that it will work. But yeah, as we showed in the proof, it indeed works. So is this fine? Any questions? Yeah, yeah. So that is something that we have proved the correctness of this, right? Now, what about yeah, the running time? Yeah, someone was telling something. Someone has a question.
So is it nm log n?
N
times
m log
m.
n. Oh, you are telling about the complexity, is it? N.
n log n plus m.
So I have n log n plus m. This is 1. Okay. So Ashutosh, you told something else. Mn log n, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
So
else?
like, it's n log n plus m log n.
N and m, right?
Yeah, both should be there.
N into m,
Yes, sir.
n plus m log n, right? So yeah, now anyway, let us see why it is true. So how much time does this initialization take?
Order n.
Order n, right? So now this is not necessary. Let me just erase this so that I can write the time complexity on this side. Yeah, I really miss the large boards. Anyway, so yeah, this part, this is order of n, right? And this is anyway constant. So how much time does make heap take?
N log n.
N log n.
N log n, right? here once we are doing this, will it really take n log n?
It'll be less than that, but it'll
We can
be
do that
an
in
order.
log n since there is only the source which has the zero distance and rest all
Yeah,
are
that
on
will be
triplets.
inserted only once, right?
Yeah,
So
we can do that in log n.
yeah,
So it'll be log 1 plus log 2 plus log 3. It'll keep that series.
no, we don't even go up, right? Because everything is infinity. We will simply add them at the end, right?
Yeah, we can do that. We
Right,
need
we'll
not
add them.
compare anything.
Exactly. So it would just be order of n plus log n. Log n, I mean, depends when we are putting the root. The root might be put at the end, right? That would require n plus log n, right? Which is basically order of n only, right? So we take only that much amount of yeah, time. Good. Now, how much time does how many times is this while loop run?
N
N times, sir.
N times. So how many? So you will be extracting it n times. How much time does extract mean take?
log n.
One
Log n.
Log n.
Yeah, yesterday we saw, right?
log n. Yes.
Deleting the root took log n
Yes.
time, right? Order of log n, right? Now, yeah, how many times is this for loop run?
M times.
Number of
Degree
edges
of
times 2.
the vertex times.
Total, sir.
So it is basically degree of u, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
and here these are constant operation, but decrease key. How much time does this decrease key take?
It'll take log n.
Log n.
Log n.
Again, order of log n, right? Yesterday we again saw this, right? It takes log n because you might decrease it to some value, it should bubble up, right? Since we are only decreasing, it will never shift down, it will only bubble up, it should bubble up to its correct position, right? So that is what it needs to happen, and hence it takes log n time at yeah, order of log n. So now what will be the, yeah, till here everything is fine. Now we need to analyze this, right? We said that this will run for n. So there are n extract min operations, right? So we are extracting the basically the costliest operations are, there are n extract min operations, right? There are n extract min operations. How many decrease key operations are there?
Sir,
Number of edges times 2.
number of edges. 2 into number of edges.
Yeah, there are
Plus
basically sum of degree of u, number of decrease key operations.
So why do we need to decrease key the condition phase? Like if you're not updating, we not decrease key, right? So
Yeah,
we can just.
I mean, yeah, we are looking for the worst case. What if it decreases at every time, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So here again, we can only decrease key only those things which are there in the queue. That check you can again do and do. So instead of degree of u, you need to only look at those neighbors which are in the queue, right? That again will give you just m, not 2m. You can make it m actually. This will be equivalent to m rather than 2m. Okay. So there are yeah, n extract min operations and m decrease key operations. So with respect to the implementation, what we have seen, it will become m into n, m plus n into log n, right? So this would be the running time, right? So basically m into log n and n into log n, right? So since both of these take log n time for each of the operations, so the total running time will be order of m plus n into log n, m log n plus n log n. If you like writing that way, m log n plus n log n. Mainly this is the contributing term, right? M is the yeah, the m is usually greater than or equal to n, right? It is almost m log n. Is that fine?
Sir, isn't the decrease key inside the for loop?
Yeah,
So,
it is inside for loop, indeed.
So it will be n into m into log n, right? So
no,
because
right? Because see, the thing is, how many times is this for loop run in the whole algorithm? For every vertex, you will run it degree of u times, right? And every vertex is extracted exactly once, right?
okay, so
This is similar to breadth first search, right? That is for our depth first search, whatever depth first search and breadth first search. That is how we analyzed it, right?
I got it now, sir. Also, won't the extract min take it'll be less than log n, right? Because we
Yeah.
had
I mean,
it's
yeah,
not
this
exactly
is the
log n.
worst case time. This is the worst case time. It can be lesser than that. That is okay. Yeah, that is possible. It is possible that it is lesser than that. It is log 1 plus log 2 plus log 3 till log n, right? So yeah, however, whatever that comes to, right? So, but yeah, in big O notation, it is n log n, right? Okay, is that fine? Okay, so using priority queue, so the sort of using minimum heap, min heap, you will get something like m log n plus n log n. So what is the yeah? So both operations here cost log n time, right? So but notice that we have n extract min operations and m, right? M can be very large. M decrease key operations, right? The number of decrease key operations are much more, right? Usually than the number of extract min operations. Suppose if there is a data structure which sort of does this decrease key operation in a much more efficient way, right? Then we could improve this running time, right? So if this decrease key operation is done in a better way, then we can always improve this. So that is what happens in Fibonacci heaps. Fibonacci heap is something I have asked you to learn, which is the assignment. In Fibonacci heaps, right? Decrease key operation is amortized by order of 1, right? The amortized time will be order of 1, right? And extract min is still log n. Extract min is still log n, right? So if you use Fibonacci heaps, the algorithm would run by m plus n log n. You would sort of shave off a log n factor from the first term, right? It would be m plus n log n. Okay. So for that, you guys need to know Fibonacci heaps. So that is the assignment. So you learn it, and yeah, Fibonacci is again a very, very important data structure. Though it is not used so frequent because yeah, the constants are high and it is not so easy to implement. Okay, so the implementation is much more yeah, cumbersome, right? But minimum map is very easy to implement, right? So generally that is used, and yeah, this is the typical running time of a Dijkstra's algorithm. And notice that this is one of the most used algorithm, right? Shortest distance, shortest paths are required in many, many applications, right? And most applications have weights also, right? So, and since they have weights, and if they are positive weights, this is something that is used. Dijkstra's algorithm is used in all those applications. Okay, is that fine? Any questions with respect to this? So we started with something like mn square or mn, right? And we came to m log n plus n log n, Dijkstra's algorithm. Okay, good.
Sir, could you
Yeah.
explain the time complexity of the while loop? Like, I'm not understanding why the for loop runs for degree u times, right? And this is inside the while loop.
Yeah, Nishant, so everyone, do you understand that we are doing n extractions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That I understood. I understood why extract is also a log n. That I understood.
Okay, wonderful. Now See, you look at the for loop here. So when do we run the for loop? We run it for each of the neighbors of u, right?
Yes, sir.
So when we extract u, we will run it degree of u times, right? At most, right? It can be
Yes, sir.
lesser than that also, at most degree of u times. Okay. So if you take throughout the whole algorithm, how much it would be? Degree of say v1 plus degree of v2, so on and so forth till degree of vn, where v1, vn to vn are the vertices of the graph, right? Because once you extract u, you are never going to put it back again in the queue, right?
Yes, sir.
So once you do that, so it will be run this many times. So what will be this?
2 times the number of edges, the sum of
Exactly.
all degrees of the graph.
Exactly. 2 times the number of edges. That is what we have said here.
Yes, sir. So, but like, since this is inside the while loop, so for every like assume like a complete graph. So in that case, like every vertex is connected to every other vertex, right? So this degree u, so basically like in the while loop, for every time the while loop runs, won't it like check for every other vertex? And so wouldn't that be n times m times log n?
No, right? Because see, it is check. We are counting for each vertex here, right? See, even if it is a complete graph, this would check for the degree of each vertex is n minus 1, right? So, but m is basically n choose 2 there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it would be n into n minus 1 because it is a complete graph, right? So yeah, n into n minus 1 is a good bound for this, but still m is a better upper bound because it runs with respect to the, it depends on the degree of the particular vertex u rather than n, right?
Okay, understood, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So notice that this part is not very different from what we did for breadth first search. Even in breadth first search, for all vertices adjacent to V, we are saying that you explore those vertices and you check, at least you will check whether it is visited or not, right? There also we said that it takes only order of m time, just because of this, right? If for everything, only the number of times this decrease key operation is called and this being set or this being checked depends on the degree of that particular vertex. Okay. So that is, and these two are anyway constants, right? The more contributing factor is this decrease key operation. If this is log n, right, it will be sum of all this into log n, right? The sum of all this is just 2 times m, right? It is order of m into log n. Okay. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. So any other question, guys? Okay, so yeah, think about it. So when is your next class? 10:15, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyway, I will stop it now. So in tomorrow's class, I will just, yeah, now I think we need to sort of, yeah, be a bit, yeah, we need to shift to the next gear, right? So still, till we do this greedy algorithms, this is one of the greedy algorithms. We will try to do other greedy algorithms also, right? Yeah, so yeah, till midsem I would still go in the same pace, but after that maybe we will shift something, because you guys will be, till you guys are comfortable with trying to get the statements and prove it, right? We can spend a lot of time, right? And after that anyway we will adjust time accordingly and we will go through these things, right? Okay. Yeah, if I can't do too many problems, I will take some problems for some sort of a tutorial and things like that, and we will discuss there. Okay. Okay. So think about this now. Yeah, tomorrow we will again continue with this and try to see what happens when there are negative weights. Okay. So suppose there are negative cycles reachable from the source, you can't do anything. That becomes a very difficult problem. The shortest distance is not defined at all, right? But suppose there are no negative weighted cycles, but there are still negative weights, then can we do something? That is what we will sort of see in the next class, probably half of tomorrow's class, and then we will continue with other problems later. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. So we'll meet tomorrow again at 9 o'clock. So guys, please come at 9 o'clock. That will help all of us, I think. 9, I will wait till 9:05. Right, 9:05 is the maximum. I will wait from tomorrow. Right, then we will start and we will sort of do start doing this. Okay. So yeah, because see, the way we are conducting the discussions, it takes more time than yeah, than simply me telling something, because that doesn't serve the purpose, right? So since we need to discuss, it will take more time. So I would sort of